you know, um, and um, and that's just remembering, and almost it's like remembering that this is a comic book, and comic books are exciting. Yes, you can make them realistic and come at it from a different angle, but at the core is comic books are exciting. They are immature. Yes, they are immature. And the reason why we love them is because they are immature and they bring the kid out of us. They make us excited. They excite us. They liven us up. That's why we love them so much. And when you just I feel like one of the great scenes in the film, obviously this is like another part, but one of the great scenes in this film is obviously when you watch it is when you see Thor gets his hammer from the sky. I was like, man, when I saw it, I was like, man, this guy and a hammer, this is serious. But and I think with that being said, that's pretty much the best points I can say about this flick. The bad points. The main thing, as I began this review show, was the script. The script was a joke. The script was a flipping joke. It was like, because again, not all of these films need to be like Begins. Obviously, Batman Begins. Obviously, the script was tight, very well done script. Obviously, credit has to go to Mr. Agoya, and obviously no man for that. But the script was tight. Better example, you look at Superman 1. Superman has the most comic book character that there is. Thor as a comic book character has a lot more substance and gravitas to him than Superman is. Superman, you read the damn comics, it's just, okay, yes, he's strong. Okay, yeah, and but you look at that Superman 1 script from the film, it's tight. It's tight. There is a story there. There's a story there. And you really feel the finale. You feel the resolution. In this, it's like there was nothing. There was nothing. It's like I didn't give a damn about any of the characters. Yes, Thor was great and it was well done, and you felt okay, this is a protagonist, but it didn't really feel like if anything was at stake. Halfway through, three quarters of the way through, I was like, yeah, I don't give an S what happens. I just don't, And is that the best you can do for a screenplay for Thor? Really? Another gripe, CGI. I hate CGI. I'll put it straight to you. I absolutely hate CGI. I hate it. The CGI in this was, there were moments where I was actually shocked that they released this for CGI. Obviously, the main bit was at the Frost Giants battle, which I could hardly see what was happening, and it wasn't very well filmed. But it's there are moments where the CGI was rubbish. It was like it sucked, and you saw Thor's merriment, which I'll come to afterwards. You saw Thor and his merriment, running away, and it's like, and you saw when the monster was going after them, and it looked so fake. And when it looks that fake, it pulls you out of the scene. The scene loses all of its importance, all of its excitement, because you're like, oh man, this is so badly done, and looks so fake. Same thing with Spider-Man swinging. As soon as you see Spider-Man swinging, your brain just shuts off. You're like, oh gosh, it's fake. Okay, so it's as fake as a cat. For me, look, man, it's like when I walked out of that cinema, man, I was just like, everything goes back to the screenplay, and I think that is an area which is easily overlooked. You can get your Spielbergs, your Kubricks, you can get all these cats to come in and do the stuff here, but if your script is not great, your film can only go up, can only be a certain level, and that's if the actors are amazing and the directors are amazing. Only go up a certain level, because at the end of the day, the actors have to say those lines, and the story has to play out the way it plays out within that script. And I just cannot fathom that 3 separate brains, this is the best they came up with. I can't. I find it difficult to believe. It's really to believe. I find it hard to believe that this is the best that 3 separate brains could come up with. But all in all, Thor, how does this rank? See, Thor, it's a tricky one, you see. It's not a crap film. I thought this film would be crap. I thought, okay, this is now going to be like, Spider-Man, Airbender territory, like around that era, because the last Airbender, that's a whole other ball of wax. But this film just wasn't crap. Like the Facebook joke and the Kat Dennings character, she actually wasn't really into that much. And she actually did not really say that much. And the story, as thin as it was, as pretty much crap as it was, it still worked. It's not at the beginning, in the middle, and the end. And for me, again, one of the best was obviously the fight between Thor and Loki, which was well done. That was well done. It wasn't amazing, but it was well done. Again, all the characters were good. Look, the Heimdall guy, obviously, people have all these issues with him and blah blah blah. But look, man, is like the guy's like he's the Idris Elba guy. He's got presence. He's got presence. And he wasn't amazing. Obviously, like he could have really, been like, whoa, a guy you remember. But again, like he wasn't amazing, but the guy was good, and you could understand why Kenneth Branagh chose him for that particular role. Because the guy just exudes presence, and you really feel like him, and this guy really is like a wall, a barrier that is hard to get past. But it's like, a lot of guys on the board are saying, Loki was amazing. For me, he had really good bits, the Loki guy, but the other bits where I first thought that he was sort of overdoing it a bit too much. But he was good. The Thor guy, again, he wasn't amazing. And I still think they could have gotten someone better. I still think they could have gotten someone better. And you look at I think they wanted that like that Skarsgård or something like that to be in it. They could have gotten someone better for this thing. But for what it is, he did all right. He was good, and he had some pretty good bits. But he sold the arrogance, of the character well, So yeah, but it's like, I just think that this was a missed opportunity that you could have made a really, really good film. I think if they had cut down on the CGI, you work on the script. You extend the bits in Asgard. You let us know about Asgard. It's like the ABC of story writing and stuff that used to be bread and butter back in the 90s when they used to make real films. It's like there needs to be more scenes in Asgard where you build up who this Thor guy is, build up his character, build up how he fights, build up, it shows how strong he is. So we now see one aspect of it. So then when he now transforms, the transformation and his evolution and him learning about himself is sold a lot more better because of how much you've built up the character from the beginning. Simple. Very simple. Very simple. And you don't even need to have an extra 20 minutes. Within the 140 minutes, it's just the choices that they made. Of how to structure their story. And it's like people should ask for more for this from this comic book films now. And just looking at Thor, man, again, it just pisses me off that Aronofsky isn't doing Wolverine. It's idiotic. It's madness that the guy just he pulled out. He pulled out. So I was about to swear there. That's how. Because my God, man. If Aronofsky had just brought a Wolverine and just brought his own quality to Wolverine, man. That's what it's needed. That's what's needed. You know. But yeah, man, all in all, man, Thor film was just decent. It was decent. Nothing more than that. But they could have done so much more with the character. And I think the main problem and issue, screenplay. Script, you know. And guys, trust me, that